Hey everyone, it's me again and welcome to Faith's Faces. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my little corner in the internet. My name's Faith Grenade and I put makeup videos here on YouTube. And you should subscribe and hit that little bell icon down below. It'll notify you every time I upload so you don't miss a minute of this riveting action. So much action. All of the action. Today you have stumbled across Faith's Faces, which is usually a get ready with me or a makeup tutorial like we've got going on today. I decided arbitrarily, with very little input at all from anyone else, to go ahead and play around with the Makeup Revolution Emily Edit The Wants palette. I just felt compelled. I knew I had to do makeup today. Well, wanted to do makeup today. And I was compelled the most by the Wants palette. I just could not stop looking at it and I was like, why would I force myself to use anything else? I'm gonna go ahead and use what calls to me. Is this the first time I've made a look like this? No. God no. I have made this look at least 2 or 3 times in the past, but I just love it and I love being able to construct a nice kind of evil swampy green look. This palette was so much fun to play around with. I can already tell you guys that I'm going to really enjoy it and that you guys are going to really enjoy it too. For being as affordable as this is $20. It's available at Ulta stores so you can use your points on it, you can use coupons on it. It's fantastic. Like, I really had a lot of fun making this look today and just sort of using all of those different crazy colors, and it came out beautifully. Can you tell that I'm so over this heat wave and I'm so ready for fall? Because I'm so ready for fall right now. This is all very, very fall, very vampy, very dark, very mysterious, very smoky. I feel like a Slytherin, even though I'm a Hufflepuff, and if you want to know how to get this delicious, smoky, dark, green, vampy goodness, then just keep on watching, baby. I'm going to dip into Midwest, which is, y'all pardon me, this is gonna be hard, right here. This little warm transition shade, and it's gonna be, hey, go figure, a transition shade. I'm gonna dip into that with a Smith 232 brush, and I'm just gonna dust that all through the crease. No real worries about making this particularly neat or tidy because it's all gonna get covered up later. It's just gonna help blend out the green later on. That blended out like a breeze, not like took 2 seconds, literally. So I'm gonna reach into Corduroy. We're going straight in to this deep dark green color, one of the most exciting, interesting colors in this palette. As soon as I swatched it, I knew. I was like, I have to play with this. It's so pretty. And then I'm gonna start with a patting motion on the outer corner, very, very outer corner of the lid, and we're gonna move that into the crease a bit. And as we move into the crease, we're going to start swirling a smidge. And that's how I usually fucks with dark colors. I pat first, just to establish pigmentation where I want it the most, and then I start swirling. And this is going to go kind of out a little bit, and then back in. And it's going to go in pretty far. You can see on my other eye, I've taken it to right about here, so I'm going to take it to right about just almost where the eyebrow begins. And then as I'm running out of pigment on the brush, I'm going to start moving further in. And you got to be careful with this part depending on your eye shape, because sometimes this can make you look like you got punched in the face. I definitely don't normally do this with like blue, but you know, green is less bruise-like, so I can get away with moving it further in. And it really gives my lid the illusion of having even more space. Because my eyes are pretty deep set. You can see where that line is on my crease right there. I like to sort of move my crease up a little bit because it gives me the illusion of larger eyes. I'm going to take the shade Side Hustle, which is this deep dark green right here, on a flat brush. This is a Smith 253. Oh, I forgot to mention the brush name of the other one. My smaller crease brush is the Smith 230. It's basically a smaller version of the 232. But we're going to take our 253 and Side Hustle on one side of the 253. Side Hustle is very, very loosely packed. It's kind of flaky a little bit. Doesn't bother me, again, totally not a deal breaker, but just thought I'd mention that just in case you do end up getting this palette and as you're using it you find a little bit of fallout with this shade. It's just because it's quite flaky. And I'm going to put this kind of on the middle of the lid, blending backward. I'm really not going to go too far in with Side Hustle. I'm going to take my Smith 230 brush back into corduroy a little bit, and I'm going to build that over on top of Side Hustle just to get that blend going. And I mean, corduroy really is the star of the show here, so we don't want it to be overshadowed by anything else. I am going to now dip into Grateful on the other side of my little Smith flat brush here. Grateful is a light, pale, goldy green color, and I am going to beef this up on the inner half of the lid right here. And we're going to kind of use it to cut the crease, but not really. I'm not using concealer to cut the crease or anything like that. I'm literally just carving out that lid space on the inside just to give myself a little bit more real estate there. Now these shimmers can do what I call scattering, where basically the glitter in the shimmer just sort of flicks off into the crease. Again, not really a deal breaker for me, and if you're doing something that's very exact and very precise, like a cut crease or something, if your base is sticky enough, you should be fine. I love that all these greens are kind of similar in undertones, so they get along really well. I'm not really finding any issue with blending them together. All too often when I run into greens in a palette, it's like some of them are olive or khaki colored and some of them are more teal, and it becomes really, really difficult to combine the two. So it's nice that I can get this beautiful, sultry, smoky green look without really doing too much work, if that makes any sense. Now for the inner corner on this side, I couldn't make up my mind and I ended up layering a fuck ton of colors on top of each other. I'm not going to do that again. This time, I'm just going to layer 2 pigments on top of each other. Originally, I was looking for like a light gold, and I really wasn't seeing that in the Wants palette. The only real like lighty gold colors they have are Oh Heavens, which is more of a pink tone champagne, and Top Story, which is more of a deep bronze gold. So I'm going to incorporate some pigments, because why not? It's fun. The first pigment I'm going to put on is Lumi. You guys know any green look, Lumi lends itself very well. So I'm just going to take a pencil brush. I find this to be the most effective method for doing this. Just dipping this into a spare palette just to keep things sanitary. And then blast in the inner corner a bit with that. But even then, I mean, Lumi looks fine with it. It's not as cohesive as I originally wanted it to be, but you could totally just use Lumi and still have a gorgeous kind of contrast between the green and the gold. But I went ahead and took a little bit of Goldilux, which is one of the best gold shadows on the planet, point blank period. I adore this pigment, even though loose pigments can be a bitch to work with. I still keep one of these in my kit. I absolutely love it. It's the best gold ever. And I'm going to layer this on top of Lumi. So we're going to get the brightness from Lumi, but Goldilux is going to give us that gold undertone that we're looking for. Once you're happy with that and everything looks pretty cohesive, then I'm going to start working on the lower lash line. The lower lash line is really just a mirror reflection of what I did up above, only a little bit more simplified. I went ahead and took Corduroy, which is our deep green, and I put that on the outer part of the lower lash line, moving in about halfway, I would say. And blending down as far as you want to go. Sort of complete the lower lash line, I'm going into Grateful. Sort of skipped Side Hustle because I don't really need it for the lower lash line. I find that this works just fine. We're going to take Grateful and blend it between where we put Goldilux and Lumi and where Corduroy's hanging out. And here we are, we've reached the touch-up phase, so this is the point where you go back. If you've watched my tutorials before, you know exactly what time it is. This is the point where you go back in the look and you sort of top up or fix anything that you need to adjust the shape of the eye look, anything that you notice needs tweaking. I usually skip through this part. So now that we've got all of that touched up, everything looks good, both sides look relatively the same, I am going to take a little bit of a fluffy brush and just dust away some of that fallout. So now I'm going to do lashes and mascara. Again, I'm not really an eyeliner person, so I'm going to skip eyeliner, but for mascara, I've been testing out a little sample of the Urban Decay Perversion Mascara, which I've been really, really happy with so far, actually, which is surprising. And then for lashes, I am probably going to end up using the Ardell 113s because that's really all I have. I'm going to slap all that on off camera real quick. I'm going to do my foundation, all of that stuff, and then I will come back to do some lips for you guys. Okay guys, I'm back. Foundation is on. I used the Priya Mineral Foundation today just because I didn't feel like doing anything too terribly heavy with my face makeup. So I did that just because it's hot out and I don't feel like doing a full-on liquid foundation right now. For most of my face complexion makeup, I used what was in the Needs palette. I went ahead and used Courage as a bronzer, which is this bronzer right here. It actually pulled quite pink on me, which was really surprising. It almost looked like a blush. Speaking of blush, I used the blush Joy on my cheeks and then sort of blended it out with the matte highlight in here, Kindness, and then I used the shimmery highlight, Gratitude, all over my face. It's a little bit more subtle and a little bit more pink toned than I normally go for. Y'all know I like my gold toned highlights, but it's pretty, I guess. You know, she got a little subtle sheen going on right here. So now for lips. I have a couple of different things that I can choose from. One of them is very, very, very nude, and one of them is very, very, very dark. I fell in love with these Bite Beauty Amuse Bouche lipsticks. The formula is gorgeous, absolutely stunning, just beautifully comfortable, very, very pigmented, very, very conditioning to the lips. My lips never felt like they were going to slide or move around, but at the same time they didn't feel dry or uncomfortable. So I think I am gonna go with Kale because a green, sultry, sassy, sexy eye like this deserves a dark green lip. Oh, that looks good. So this is the Bite Beauty Amuse Bouche lipstick in the shade Kale. You guys can see, I mean, the finish on these is just stunning. It's just stunning. I had one and then I promptly went out and bought two more because I was that into the formula, and the longevity is great. I mean, obviously they're not transfer resistant, these are cream lipsticks, but they're so comfortable that I am willing to look past that. So this is Kale. I also bought the shade Honeycomb, which is more of a warm nude. It was the closest shade in the range that I could find to my favorite lipstick of all time, which is the L'Oreal Color Riche Shine lipstick in the shade Glossy Fawn. That's like my favorite nude of all time ever. And I was looking for a shade in their line that matched that. Honeycomb is just a touch more pink than that is, but it was the closest I could find, so I bought both of those. I am so into this now. Like, having a dark green lip just takes this look to the next level. I'm feeling so many Slytherin vibes. I'm feeling dark, I'm feeling evil, I'm feeling vampy, I'm feeling fall. This is so great. And this from a $20 eyeshadow palette. Like, are you kidding me? And the rest of the colors are just so, so infinitely combinable. Like, I could see making dozens upon dozens of looks with this palette. I'm very, very happy with this. Very happy. Emily, you did that. You nailed it. This is amazing. More people need to be talking about these palettes because they're fantastic and I love them. Anyway, without further ado, the thing I always forget to do, let's do some awkward posing. Awkward posing. Looking down. Looking forward. Looking fierce. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful, informative, or entertaining. If you did, there's a button for that. Spank that like button in the butt, you know it deserves it. And if you want to see more from me, you've got a couple options now. You can click the videos on either side of my head to binge if you're bored or bummed out, or hey, you can hit that button that looks like my face and subscribe and become a member of the faithful today. I put out new videos every Sunday. Thank you guys so, so much for watching and joining me today, and I will see you in the next video. Doodles!